Hi, this is Nathan Lehman with the Ultra Running Company, and we're here to do a shoe review. Today, I'd like to talk about a shoe, but it's not the Saucony Freedom ISO that we've talked about in the past. The reason I bring this up is because we've loved a lot of things about this shoe. It's got a fantastic TPU base in the tread. It's got a really nice, breathable, flexible upper. And one thing it doesn't have, though, is the ability to go off-road. And we've been really excited for a while to see what Saucony would do when they took this, what they call their EverRun technology, and put it into a trail shoe. So today, we'll be reviewing the Saucony Switchback ISO, the first trail shoe from Saucony that uses their kind of next generation cushioning rubber and combines it with a lot of really cool aspects to make what we think is a really unique shoe. So first of all, let's just kind of hit the basics. This is a minimally cushioned, low drop trail shoe. And let's kind of break that down a little bit. So first of all, the minimal cushioning. This shoe has under the forefoot 18.5 millimeters of cushion, and under the heel 22.5 millimeters of cushion. So the drop of the shoe, or the heel to toe offset, is 4 millimeters. That's right in the middle. It's not a flat shoe like some of the Topos and Ultras, and it's definitely not a high-heeled shoe like you'd see from some of the other running shoe brands, specifically some of the more mainstream trail running brands. So what makes this really interesting, we've dealt with this EverRun in midsole before. That's a TPU midsole. It's kind of a new generation of cushioning rubber. In this case, TPU means thermoplastic polyurethane. What that really means for you is that you can use less rubber and get more bounce to it. So Saucony, Adidas calls it their Boost. A lot of these claims say that it has a higher energy return to it. I'm not sure that's super helpful in a running shoe, but what it does mean is that you're going to feel like bounce when you step on this shoe. You're also going to feel like there's a little bit more cushion than there actually is. So something with 20 millimeters of cushion may feel more like a shoe that has 24, 25 millimeters of cushion. That's really going to be up to your foot, but it's really worth trying out. The entire midsole, this entire cushion part, is that EverRun technology. So it's not a combination of two of them. It's 100% really bouncy rubber under your foot. What differentiates this shoe from the Freedom is really going to be what's under the midsole, the actual tread on it. We've got a very, very dense, kind of built up but grippy bottom. Saucony again calls it their Power Track. I don't know what that means, but what I think it means is that it has good grip in every direction. So you'll see some of these lugs are pointed in one way with a really kind of more chiseled side on the bottom. Other ones are going to have that more chiseled side on the top. So on the front of the shoe, when you're climbing up a hill, it's going to catch and it's going to give you some traction. On the bottom side, when you're descending down the hill, it's going to catch and give you some of that traction. Overall, I would say this is a fantastic sole for your more buffed out trails, the trails that have been groomed a little bit more, dry trails, definitely dirt, leaves, sticks, mud, but only a little bit of mud. If you start to get too sloppy, if it's rained for a couple days and you go out on a trail, this shoe doesn't have enough depth to the tread to really give you that traction. You're going to want to move to something that's more specific for mud. But anything short of a real muddy trail, you're going to get fantastic traction on this shoe. What you're also going to get is a feeling unlike any other shoe that I've put on, where with 22.5 millimeters of cushion in the heel and 18.5 in the forefoot, you're going to get a lot of bounce back. So you don't really feel that when you put it on in a running store or wear it out on the street or just walk around on it. But once you get up to speed on the trail, you'll hit the ground, and for the first time in any shoe that I've worn, it gives you a little pop back. Really interesting feel. Don't know if that's good or bad. It's just going to appeal to your senses as you are running down the trail. The nice thing about having that minimally cushioned shoe is that you are going to be able to feel what's underneath you. Now this is a trail shoe, but it does not have a rock plate in it, which is, a rock plate's generally usually a plastic piece of shank that goes throughout the shoe to protect you from rocks, sticks, anything that's gonna kind of poke up. The nice thing about having this full length, high density tread rubber is that it's gonna absorb most of that. The Everrun's gonna absorb the rest, and in my experience running down the trail, even trying to step on sharp rocks, I did not feel that come through and hit the bottom of my foot. So that's pretty unique in a minimally cushioned shoe. Moving on up, on the upper of this shoe, we gave up some of the breathability on the and the flexibility on the Freedom to get something that's going to be a little bit more durable when you go out on the trail. Nice overlays, so actually a little bit of plastic coming over the fabric here, good plastic holding it in. And the number one kind of the killer feature of this shoe is that they put all that together with what's called a BOA lacing system. So you'll notice that this is not a tie-up shoe. We've been waiting for BOA to come out with something on a shoe that we really love for quite some time. And this is really the first application that we've seen where it really makes a difference. So here's what happens. The BOA is a disc that pulls these nylon strings into it and actually locks it right down. So what you'll do is you'll lock down the BOA and give it little clicks, and it pulls all of these strings together in a way that really clamps your foot. Uses Saucony's ISO technology, which is all these little fingers, to really pull your foot in and hold it right in place. And you can do that as snugly or as loosely as you'd like. So if I want to really clamp it down, if I'm going for a shorter run or something very technical, I can just click this in and it's real fine micro adjustments. When if I'm running a little further and my foot starts to expand, one pull is all I need. It'll come right out and I can readjust it right to my foot very, very quickly. The nice thing is we've run a long way with these BOAs, as much of 100 miles at a pop, and never had a BOA actually pop out on us. So that's the first thing you think of when you see something like this is, that's great, but will I hit it? Will it pop out? In our experience, that's not the case. It's a very secure system. They've gone from using wire ties along here to a nylon one. We haven't had any issues with that so far. It seems like it would be a little less durable than the wire, but we're going to give BOA the benefit of the doubt on this one. After a decent amount of running in this switchback, we haven't had any fraying, so I assume this is a pretty durable material that they've designed just for that fit. So I can't say enough good about the way this shoe really locks you in. It's got a slightly generous toe box. It tapers a bit at the front, so if you have a wider foot, more of a squared off foot, this may not be the shoe for you. But for a large majority of the feet that we see here at the Ultra Running Company, this is going to fit really well. A little wider here, tapers in a bit here, but it doesn't come to that kind of point that some shoes are known for. So it should be voluminous enough for most customers while really locking you in from here. The back is actually a very flexible fabric. It does not have a significant heel counter, which we really like. Heel counters are designed to lock your foot in. This particular shoe uses a foam insert right around the inside. And I'm not sure we have enough light here that you can see it, but you'll definitely feel it. It locks your heel right in. In addition, with that BOA, it pulls it in, and it doesn't have any unnecessary cushioning around here. You really don't need it. So overall, really impressed with this shoe. We've been looking forward to trying it for about 6 months, and on our first few weeks of running in it, we've had nothing but compliments. For me, this is a shoe that would probably go from your shortest trail run up to 30 miles, 40 miles, something like that. You'll probably pull it out to a 50 miler just because it has so much bounce to it. More efficient runners than myself might be able to take this further. Heavier folks that maybe don't have such an efficient stride may not be able to go much past the marathon distance in this, but for most of your trail races, just a really nice shoe that you can go out in, have confidence in, and feel good. So as far as weight goes, pretty competitive in the weight department. A women's size 7 is 8.8 ounces, a men's size 9 is 9.8, and if you go up to a Nathan size shoe, which is about a 13, we're going to be right at 11 ounces. So again, as I always point out, kind of your gold standard is to be 10 ounces or less for a shoe. That's usually measured at sample size, which for men is right around a 9. So when you get up to the larger sizes like mine, something under 12 ounces is usually generally acceptable, and this falls well under that. Something really interesting is compared to the Freedom, which doesn't have all this reinforcement on it, which isn't as durable on a trail, you're only giving up about 0.6 of an ounce across sizes. So the Freedom itself was 8.2 ounces in a women's sample size and 8.8 in the Switchback. So there's your 6 ounces there. Once you get up to the men's 9, it's about 7 ounces, 9.1 to 9.8. And once you get up to a 12, you're looking at about 0.8 of an ounce extra for the Switchback over the Freedom. The Switchback comes in at $140, which is a really interesting price point. Basically, if you look at the Freedom, that's a $160 shoe. Generally, if you're going to add this much material, add in things like a BOA, which is a really expensive component to put into a shoe, you're going to see that price pop up a little bit. In this case, we really think Saucony was trying to hit a price point in the market instead of pricing it to their material cost. And so a $20 discount over the Freedom makes this really an incredibly good buy. We'll have to see how long it lasts. We're at about 100 miles on this shoe right now, and have just continued great traction with the bottom, really no wear to speak of, and definitely no wear and tear on the outside. So at $140, really nice point for this. Maybe a couple bucks more than the average trail shoe, but considering what they've put in, kind of their highest level of technology, we're really excited about where it brought in. So if you want to come into the Ultra Running Company, give it a shot, put it on your foot and see how great it feels. Then take it out, take it for a run, and you'll know it feels great on the trail. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to hearing your feedback.